Okay, good morning. The sun is not even up in the sky yet, but I've been having this thought and I wanted to share with you all. Now, I'm not someone who believes in coincidences. And so when I hear phrases that go viral or become what we know as slang today, I always stop and think about it like, where did that come from? And out of all the choice of words, why that choice? One of such sayings would be something like, oh, yeah, he's the truth. She's the truth. Well, we say things like that, it's innocent, right? But scripture tells us that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And so, unknowingly, when we're calling someone the truth, even though in our minds we're thinking that that simply means that this individual is amazing, this person is astute, but we're really saying that that person is the truth in place of Jesus Christ. And it's interesting because I tend to see a lot of Christians using the slangs that seem more or less innocent. But with this growing generation, a lot of people seem to know the origins of certain things, like the GOAT. A lot of Christians who are starting to wake up and understand how there's duplicity, how there's duality, they're realizing, oh, simply saying someone is the GOAT is not just saying someone is the greatest of all time. That is inadvertently giving honor or giving recognition to the goat, which is the Baphomet, which symbolizes Satan, right? Right. And so I think sometimes we're so focused on the blatantly obvious things that we neglect to look at the more subtle things. But I digress. I wanted to actually talk about something more specific. Now, I know your average Christian has probably heard about Proverbs 31, the book of Proverbs. These were a collection of wise sayings and teachings from King Solomon, who was David's son and later became king, obviously. And Proverbs 31 is pretty much the prototype of the perfect woman, the ideal woman, ideal wife, ideal mother that many Christian women aspire to be. And so while we talk a lot about Proverbs 31 woman, we don't talk about the Proverbs 7 woman enough for me. We don't talk about her enough for me. And it's quite sad because many of us have been the Proverbs 7 woman or are the Proverbs 7 woman, but we have cognitive dissonance, so we don't realize it. But again, back to the point. Just like the Proverbs 31 woman, the Proverbs 7 woman was married, right? She's a married woman, but scripture tells us she was the rebellious type. She was the brash type. She was about that life type. And one thing I noticed is that it said that she was never content with staying at home. Verse 12 says she's often in the streets. She's often on the streets and on street corners trying to solicit her goods, solicit herself. And when I thought about that, I was like, she was in the streets. She was outside. Okay. I find it very awkward. I find it very interesting that out of all the phrases, right, these city girls, these hot girls, these WAP girls have chosen as their banner, right, their clarion call, we outside, just like the Proverbs 7 woman. Outside, just on the streets, right? You're for the streets, you're outside on the streets. And I just found that very interesting. Out of all the phrases, y'all don't say we in the club, y'all don't say we living life, y'all don't say we just out here with our girls, y'all say we outside, we in the streets. Proverbs 7 woman. This is where it comes from. Okay, you guys be blessed.